Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today I have two super quick updates for you. One, we're going to be talking about the James Charles billboard because chef's kiss, amazing, awesome, like so yes. And two, we are going to be talking about the disgusting marketing techniques from Frida Baby that recently went viral. We don't really have a lot to talk about, but let's go, guys. All right, so for those of you who are new here, hello, my name is Sasha, and this here is Mickey. You can't really see him, he's a little low. And here's where we dive deep into influencer culture to call influencers, and in this case, brands, out for their absolutely terrible, crappy behaviors. If that sounds good to you, I would love it if you would subscribe to the channel and see where it takes us. And if you enjoy my coverage, please don't forget to like this video to help my voice to grow. And it's also a free way to help support the channel and make sure I can keep making videos for you guys, which I enjoy doing. Now, let's discuss James Charles. Okay, so if you have been on the internet, you may have seen, or if you follow me at all, you may have seen this billboard posted. Thanks to H3 podcast, Ethan Klein. Amazing. Now, I know there is some controversy surrounding the H3 podcast and stuff like that. I haven't looked a whole lot into it, but regardless, this move right here deserves a shout out. So, like I said, regardless of how you feel about Ethan Klein and his productions, this is amazing. And the level of public humiliation that people like James Charles need in their life. So I have on screen here the billboard, and it says, "Say James, I hear you, text him young." And then there's a search bar that says, "Search James Charles allegations." This is absolutely unhinged that this is a real billboard posted in LA, James Charles on display in 4K. Oh my gosh, the level of public shame and humiliation that predators need. Full stop. And we need to do this more often. Now, I did see on Spill Sesh's Instagram reels on this whole situation, a couple comments being like, okay, well, sure, I guess I get it, but why are we rehashing old beef? Which, I'm sorry. Sexting minors and admitting and having proof against you towards sexting minors is not beef. That is a crime. Full stop. Why this? Why now? Why whatever? Why post a public billboard like this? Because James Charles still continues to thrive on social media. He has a very, very large TikTok following, and his primary demographic consists mainly of children. That's not okay. He continues to go on with his life scot-free, zero consequences, because he came on, no makeup, and did a sad old apology. Not even an apology. That's not okay. He continues to live a lavish lifestyle, travel the world, flaunt his wealth, get brand deals left, right, and center, while his target demographic is children, the very demographic that he preys on. That is not okay. He is a predator, and everyone deserves to know it. And if parents are allowing their children to follow James Charles, perhaps they don't know, which is a deeper conversation behind the fact that parents should not be allowing their children on social media platforms completely unsupervised. But that's a discussion for another day. Let's be realistic here. However, this brought me joy. This is the level of public shame. There's a talk on social media where we need to bring back shaming people for crappy behaviors. And this is a level of public shaming, especially with everything in the news, that I am here for. Honestly, who wants to crowdsource one for the Oompa Loompa in the Oval Office? Anyone? Anyone? Because I think he needs a billboard next, but Anyway, let's move on before this gets too political, shall we? So, next topic I want to talk about quickly is the Frida Baby controversy. Now, if you are a parent, you'd likely have heard of Frida Baby once or twice throughout your parenting journey, especially with young children. Originally, they started with a bunch of baby products. They have toothbrushes. They have the nose sucker thing to get the boogies out. They have toothbrushes, soft hair brushes, sponges, the whole 9 yards. And eventually they branched out into postpartum products and fertility products. Now, recently, this past week, old posts of theirs and old marketing packaging resurfaced. I guess someone was scrolling through their Instagram and found these and retweeted them on X. So here are those posts. Jokes marketed to baby products is actually sick and twisted at Frida Baby. This is absolutely appalling and disgusting. That was the original tweet that got 4.7 million views. And then the second tweet, men being the brains behind this nasty marketing, unfortunately tracks. At Frida Baby, you have some sick and twisted people on your team. Now, when these posts went viral, what do you think Frida Baby did? Do you think they reached out, released a statement, and apologized? No, of course not. Of course they didn't do that, guys. How could we be so silly and naive to believe that? No. Instead, they decided to go on a deleting rampage and try and hide the evidence. Well, what does that do? We've talked about it before on the channel. That creates a Streisand effect. That is going to blow this up even more. And it is definitely not the right move to do. If you no longer align with those values, the right move would have been to do a social media scrub months ago, gone through it, and deleted these posts before getting called out, not after. That is never the way to go. So let's take a look at some of these controversial, questionable posts, shall we? Here is one of the posts that people were like, excuse you. And this isn't even one of the worst ones. Top windy pro tips: tap that G in brackets ass and sometimes even poop. So tap that ass, okay. Talking about babies here. This post had people pretty up in arms. What happens when you pull out too early? Hashtag knows Frida, hashtag don't move. And it is a picture of a baby with snot up his face, which can be misconstrued as something else. You know? And the thing is humor changes over time. We can all be there with that. And I understand their reasoning of wanting to kind of catch the eye of a younger generation, younger demographic, millennials, Gen Z. Especially millennials, we have that darker, cruder humor. I understand that. But any type of joke that ends up sexualizing children and babies is a hard line in the sand that no one should ever cross. And they want to be relatable. There are ways to make the real, raw, hard parts of parenting relatable without sexualizing children. And in the wake of all of the Epstein files being released, it is no doubt that these posts resurfaced and went re-viral again, because this post is from April 2nd, 2020. So at one point in time, this might have been quote unquote acceptable humor that kind of flew over a lot of people's heads or whatever, didn't really bat an eye at it. But now that all of these files have been released and basically all of the horrific conspiracy theories from the last couple decades have been confirmed in these files, this is not where it's at. And no doubt this is why this went viral and why people are so upset about it. And in my opinion, their response to this isn't actually an apology or anything like that. It's a deflective attempt to skirt accountability and justify why they posted this. But we'll go through their response here shortly. I'm a power sucker. I get turned on easily, and this is marketing for a humidifier. Very good, very good. How about a quickie? Marketing for a ear and forehead touchless thermometer. A quickie. And this is the post that had a lot of people really up in arms. It is for a rectal thermometer, and it said, "This is the closest your husband's going to get to a threesome." Yeah. Meet the new 3-in-1 True Temp thermometer, the Swiss Army knife of temperature taking accuracy. Get a 10-second read followed by immediately by a 30-second double check without reinserting. So skip the second guessing and snag one today at Amazon and buy baby. Bye baby. Oh, there are a few more reasons too. So now we're not only just like sexualizing baby and baby products, but we're also kind of throwing fathers under the bus, being like, this is the closest he's going to get to a threesome. Are you kidding me? That is so tasteless and disturbing and disgusting. And how this got even 18 likes and 3 comments. Like, are you kidding me right now? When was this? Is there a date here? There's no date here. But that is disgusting marketing to be like the closest your husband's going to get to a threesome. Are you You have to be kidding right now. After they went on a deleting spree, obviously they continued to get backlash, and, you know, it probably made it go more viral because what are you guys trying to hide? Obviously, you know it's wrong. Maybe you should have addressed things before going on a deleting spree and stated we're going to delete them out of respect for people who are not vibing with these jokes. But no. Couldn't do that. We have to do everything backwards. The brand eventually issued a statement in which it said, from the very beginning, Frida has used humor to talk about the real, raw, and messy parts of parenting that too often go unspoken. We do this because parenting can be isolating and overwhelming, and sometimes a moment of levity is what makes a hard experience feel human, shared, and survivable. Our products are designed for babies, but our voice has always been written for the adults caring for them. Our intention has consistently been to make awkward and difficult experiences feel lighter, more honest, and less isolating for parents. That said, humor is personal. What's funny to one parent can feel like too much to another. We're never trying to offend, push boundaries for shock value, or make anyone feel uncomfortable. Importantly, our tone is never separate from our product. The humor we use is always grounded in a specific feature, benefit, or innovation, a reflection of the real problem we're solving for families. So do you see what I mean by this whole trying to like skirt accountability and like dodge any form of apology? It's like, oh, well, we're sorry you got offended. That's what it's giving. Hold on, there's one more little blurb. Frida was built to support families through some of the most vulnerable and transformative chapters of their lives. We stand firmly behind that mission. We will continue to show up with honesty, empathy, and courage. With each decision we make, we will continue to evaluate how we express our voice so that our commitment to families is unmistakable and our tone always meets the moment. And it's like, okay, so they're kind of half admitting that like maybe humor has changed over the years, but they're not actually addressing the core issue here. It's almost like they like, sorry you got offended, not sorry we messed up. Like they don't realize how poor taste this is, especially again with all of the Epstein files being released and all of those like theories and suspicions being confirmed. For decades now, people have been talking about this, and it's almost like this type of humor and this type of marketing was shoved in our faces, and now it's like, oh shit, hindsight is 2020, right? My husband and I are rewatching the show Weeds because it's back on Netflix, and I believe it was season 1 episode 7 where Shane has his friend over and they're talking to the UPS guy, and the friend goes, can you guys ship bodies? And he dead ass goes, yeah kid, we ship anything. And that took me back with like, holy shit, that is a crazy statement to make in light of everything, right? It's almost like like I said, they were rubbing it in our faces. And that's what people have been starting to dig up, like the Justin Bieber Yummy music video and Katy Perry's one album. People are digging up this stuff being like, oh my God, they've been trying to tell us for years that crazy fucked up shit is going on, and everyone's like taking it as jokes, taking it as humor, and taking it lightly. Couldn't possibly be that something is actually nefarious and going on behind the scenes. So it's just really shocking and jarring to see this kind of stuff go reviral and revisit these conversations. And it's more shocking to me the way they responded to it was kind of this deflective technique of, oh, well, we don't actually think we were wrong, but humor has changed, and like, we're sorry that you got offended by our humor. Not this actual realization that, hey, maybe that was too far. Maybe we did cross some boundaries, and they kind of allude to it in there, but they don't actually acknowledge it or apologize for it or anything. And yeah, I don't know. I think it was a disgusting move, and really, it'll be really interesting to see if more brands get called out for this type of stuff now that people are hyper vigilant because of the files being released and because of everything we learned from those files. And it's just like, I don't know if you guys looked into any of them or anything, but oh my gosh, some of the stuff was next level disturbing, unhinged, and just super disturbing that stuff is real life. honestly. But that's what I have for you guys. This was just a quick little update on stuff that's going on because I think that one, James Charles deserves all of this attention and I just want to help spread awareness, and two, the Frida baby controversy is really alarming in light of everything that's happened these last couple weeks and all of the information that we've learned. But as always, I'm so curious to hear what you guys think about all of this. How do you feel about the James Charles billboard? And how do you feel about the Frida baby controversy? Do you think that people are just like hypersensitive now and, misconstruing a joke? And what do you think about their response? Do you think their response was appropriate, or do you think they're kind of trying to skirt accountability, especially given the fact that they tried to delete these posts before even acknowledging that they existed? Let me know down in the comments. As always, thank you so much for joining me. This is probably going up on Monday because I'm filming this super quick on Sunday. So I hope you guys had a fantastic weekend, a lovely Valentine's Day. I know you got spoiled with love, and I hope you are having a beautiful day wherever you are in the world. And I will talk to you guys soon. Bye, guys.